In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the things you need to do to get better aim and precision in Warzone. Dying in Warzone is just part of the game, you shouldn't feel bad for it, but if you're constantly dying and you need some tips to win more gunfights more often, then let's dive straight in with my first tip, which is to look at some of the in-game settings you can change to make you have better aim. Starting off with the aim response curve. Linear and standard response curves are really good for muscle memory, but if you want to be more precise with your controller when you're sniping or snapping left and right without losing the precision a bit like a mouse and keyboard, then you need to try the dynamic response curve, because this is a setting that's going to help you either make those fine adjustments when correcting your aim or snapping onto targets when you need to turn and fire quickly. At first it might feel weird because you're probably going to be used to the standard aim response, but just stick with this. The ability to make those fine adjustments with the dynamic response will really help you control that recoil and consistently keep your aim directly on target. Obviously, this comes down to personal preference and you might be just fine with the standard response curve, but at least give dynamic a try. Even if it's for a couple of plunder matches, you might be thankful that you did. And that leads me nicely into some tips for tightening up that aim, and that's to look through the reticle of the iron sight. It's not something many people think about in the heat of the moment in a gunfight, so don't just look at who you're aiming at, look through the sight, line up the reticle with who you're shooting at, and then pull the trigger. Make an effort to consciously do this when you get into a fight and you'll find that you start to land more shots on target. As you can see from this clip, I brought my center dot over the player and I started off looking through the reticle, but I went into autopilot when my eyes just followed the player, so I had to correct myself and continue looking through the reticle. Silly. But before all of that, before you've even acquired a target to shoot at, one of the biggest things you can do to give yourself the best chance of aiming correctly and winning gunfights is to work on your centering. This needs to be a mental muscle memory for this game, and with centering, it's all about aiming at the danger area. Aiming at where players are most likely to be. So for example, in this clip, you can see me approaching this corner and I begin moving my crosshair before I even get round the corner, so I've got the best chance of aiming directly at whoever's around there. Like pre-aiming every corner before you even turn it. If I didn't have my centering to look directly down the alley before I'd even turned the corner, I would have seen the guy too late and I would have lost the fight. Anyway, for my next tip, it's to begin improving the muscle memory you're going to need for Warzone. And that's to use a bot lobby for 20 minutes every time you load up the game. But there is a specific way you need to set this up to refine that aim and give yourself the edge in gunfights. If you do this every day for the next month, I promise you'll be winning more gunfights. So first off, pick whatever map you like, it doesn't matter which, but the important bits are in game setup. So set the time limit to 20 minutes and the score limit to unlimited. Then in the player tab, put the max health on 200, health regen on fast, and then on the gameplay tab, here's the important bit, put it to headshots only. So start the match and see how many enemies you can kill in that 20 minutes. Then tomorrow do it all again and see if you can kill more enemies than yesterday within that 20 minutes. After a few days you'll start noticing that you're getting better at it, which means you're most likely getting better at Warzone too. Obviously the multiplayer bot lobby is great, but if you don't have multiplayer, you've got to do what you've got to do, so jump into Plunder and drop into Storage Town, you'll get there, I promise. One final quick tip is to get your sensitivity right. The sensitivity is unique to every person and each controller, so there isn't a one size fits all here, but what I feel most comfortable with is a setting of 5. Generally speaking, you want this to be anywhere between 3 and 10. Anything lower than a 3 and you're going to struggle badly to turn and get on target, and anything above 10, you're going to be losing the precision that you'd normally get if you kept this below 10. So you'll probably be turning way too quickly to have any sort of accuracy. There will obviously be the outliers for this who can handle a 20/20 sensitivity, so again, it's your own personal preference. So if it feels very slow to move your aim around, turn it up a few notches. And if you're constantly missing the target when aiming, just turn it down. No one is going to make fun of you for turning your 20/20 sensitivity down to a 12 or a 10. If anything, you're going to be dominating those noobs with your newfound accuracy, so you will have the last laugh. So these are my tips for perfecting your aim in Warzone. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything you do to perfect your accuracy. Maybe we can all learn something from you that I maybe didn't mention in here. Good luck out there, it's tough, but you can get through it. And if you liked this video and you thought it was useful, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and I'll see you all in the next one. Toodaloo!